Welcome to ECRP Real Estate Media, and you're here with your girl Ebonie Caldwell. So today we're doing something totally different that we normally would do. Normally we'll always talk about just everything real estate related, like 100% and investors related. But I'm excited to say we are, working with a great organization. It's the Georgia Doty HIV Hepatitis Community Outreach.
Got it.
But one of the most important things today is I kind of want to talk about really what the organization not only is about, why I'm here, and most importantly, we have a big event coming up June 11th. So definitely want to get people involved and maybe get some more sponsors and potential donors. Dr. Sherry, tell me exactly, what role do you play in the organization?
I am on the board of directors as an advisory person. I basically look into the leadership aspect of the organization. Plus, I do the ad committee for the special event that's coming up to honor our pioneers in health.
Okay. And then, Mr. Doty, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Well, I'm Don Doty, president.
Besides the crazy man.
Yeah,
No,
the
I'm just
crazy
playing.
man. Yeah, I was brought to Chicago some years ago by W. Clement Stone and the late Harold Washington to duplicate a program my mother, Georgia Doty, and it's named after her, started in Los Angeles. We received a $2 million grant from the President Carter's administration to provide employment training in the allied health field for the welfare to work population.
Okay.
So Clement Stone, businessman here in Chicago, and he was president of Combine Insurance. He had a program called PMA, Positive Mental Attitude, and this program philosophy was able to help break the government's dependency for a lot of women who were dependent upon welfare, and be able to receive the type of training that would give them upward mobility in the areas of employment and in the health careers. So when they brought me to Chicago, I was able to duplicate the school with the help of Congressman Danny Davis and Congressman Bobby Rush and former State Senate President Pate Phillips. And with that funding, it started the Center for Employment Training. And for 24 years, it was one of the top trade schools here in Chicago. It closed only because of the problems we're having here in the state of Illinois in terms of the budget and funding. So it owed us about $75,000, and it kind of helped and crippled us. So we now started the nonprofit of the Georgia Doty HIV Hepatitis Community Outreach as a means to kind of educate the public about health disparity and how to deal and fill the gap of funding that's not coming into the state for the seniors and for mental health. We're trying to, as activists, pull together volunteers to kind of address those issues and put that money into those gaps by soliciting foundations, giving fundraising affairs to help kind of provide those services that they're not getting from the state. And I think that there are certain leaders in the community, and I have to say minority leaders have given back into the community, and we're kind of blessed with that by blessing forward, giving blessings forward. And the time that they're spending and providing us the services that we need, we want to recognize them because they are the ones that open the doors for others to kind of follow in terms of mentorship, leadership, and to recognize some of the things and the problems that we're having in our community. So this June 11th gives us a chance to recognize these health leaders and political leaders in our community that's making a big difference.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What would be, right now, you're trying to get the organization back to where it was.
Correct.
What would be the biggest thing that you feel like you need right now?
Right now we need grant writers.
Okay.
We need fundraising, event planners. We need researchers. At that time, we have volunteers, but we don't have the corporate support and visibility that we need so that we can receive larger grants. So I think that from this event, we're hoping that this event will provide us the kind of visibility and awareness that people will ever get a chance to know what we've done in the last 20 years and what we plan to do in the future.
Okay. And what you plan on doing in the future? I know we had talked about real estate in regards to, the city potentially donating properties, to the organization. How do you think we can try to implement that? Like, what type of help do you think you need from even just the community or from different community leaders to try to help us get those properties and to bring programs into those properties?
Well, right now, we have Chase Bank. We do our meetings within Chase. Chase Bank, JP Morgan adopted us and provided us opportunity to have office space within their banks. They have offered us various pieces of property. The city of Chicago has various properties to donate. We were blessed to reach out to Ebonie Caldwell. And I want to put focus on her because she is from the neighborhood. She has 2 children. She has a real estate broker's company and a staff, but she's given the time and education and her own personal monies to help this event. I think by her being involved with our organization, we have somebody that has real estate background so that if we acquire the property, we'll know how to manage it, how to renovate it, how to turn it around, and how to solicit anchor tenants to have in the building so that our program will have a stationary presence in our community.
That's good. One of the things that I speak to like my investors on a lot is a lot of my investors in the past have said, well, I don't really want to buy in this particular area because, it's either run down or because of this is because of that. And I always tell my investors, what you don't realize is we make up the community. Meaning, if you get don't get all the good properties and all the bad properties in all the great areas, because I feel like that's already done. It's already established. Get the properties in the area that's considered the quote unquote distressed areas, because we can bring those areas up. Yes. And at the same time, bringing those areas up, we can actually grow that community and bring more jobs to that area just by hiring more contractors from the area, subcontractors from the area, or like you say, Chase Bank given properties, whereas we can put an anchor tenant in there, whereas somebody can grow their mom and pop business inside of that. I think the biggest thing for the organization is to get investors who's willing to donate money in regards to getting those properties. Right. Because as you mentioned to me before, you could get the properties, you're being given the properties because of your portfolio, because of who you are, but now the catch is we can't give you the properties without money to make sure you able to do the rehab work. Right,
that's the problem. It's getting the property up to code, putting the property where it's a benefit to the community. Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of projects and buildings they're giving away at this moment. I think that yes, it'll give a lot of opportunity for employment, but I think that the services that we would provide in the community would be health education, health outreach. We plan to bring in Mercy Hospital, one of the major hospitals, to be a community medical clinic, so that as we're educating people about their illnesses, we can have them referred to our own services, to our own clinics, and provide them for HIV and for hepatitis. And those are 2 concerns that are very important to us and is hitting the minority community the hardest at this time.
Now, I know one time when I think it was Dr. Ola who was speaking,
yes,
it was a statement that was made that seniors are actually the ones, is that correct?
Yes.
That's mostly hit.
At risk for HIV and STDs.
And I didn't know that.
The heterosexual women are at risk now for HIV in the last 5 years than before. And this is due to lack of education. I think that it's important for women, mostly women, because you're the ones that are allowing these men to have sex with you without a latex condom. Any other condom for good feelings don't work. It has to be latex. I think now women have to do background on individuals, because if that individual guy that you're dating, he may have dated somebody that was on drugs, and that passed on to you. And so therefore, he's not aware of his issues, but he's passing, because he hasn't been tested, but he's passing on to heterosexual women. And you have a lot of men that are down low, men that are bisexual, that are married, that are passing it on to heterosexual women. And then you got women, guys who pay for sex on the streets, and they're not realizing that even if they get oral sex, thinking that they're safe, they're getting diseases, chlamydia, and other diseases just from the oral sex, and they're passing it to their wives and to their girlfriends. So the whole thing is education, lack of education, but I gotta focus more on the women population, because those are the ones that are opening up their legs. if they were aware of the issues, not because he looked fine or because he had a big car, he might be safe, or she looks fine and she might be safe. No, there is no face or gender to these diseases. And it's very important for right now for us to educate the public to get tested, to be treated, and to have other people treated that you feel that are at risk, especially the guys that are coming out of prison.
I agree with you on that. And one thing about the organization, you know, if the Doty Organization could get these properties, it makes it so much easier to provide these programs.
Correct.
But not just getting the properties don't mean nothing if there's not funding. So we need to get the proper funding. So one thing about this event that's coming up right here, and it's June 11th, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's a few different, you know, pioneers that's being honored. I'm going to mention their names, and if you don't mind, just kind of give me something briefly about them. James E. Clyburn, he's the U.S. Congressman from South Carolina. And I see he's being, you know, he's a special honoree and health legislative pioneer. What is it that he do? Why did you choose him? I mean, outside the fact that he's
several reasons why. He passed legislation some years ago for the Safe Needle Exchange Program.
Okay.
And this is to give those that are on drugs, that are doing drugs, opportunity to get new needles. The thing is that they're reusing needles and passing on the same needles to other people. And that's what's causing the high rate of infection for hepatitis. Okay. So by having a clean needle, we don't want them to do drugs, but if you're going to do it with a clean needle and to reduce the rate for hepatitis. We also have a program we're trying to establish, because we have a home, my family, in South Carolina.
Okay.
So we want to open up one of our chapters and duplicate our program there also in South Carolina. And he really supported us in terms of education. I think that he brings a whole new light in terms of reducing the urban violence in Chicago, as he's done in his book called The Blessings.
And that book just came out, right?
Just came out.
Okay.
Down home guy, down home values, down home virtues, spirituality, things that are missing right now here in Chicago.
I totally agree, even with a lot of the politicians, but not even just politicians, just people in general. You know, now we have Chief Judge Timothy Evans.
Timothy Evans is advocate against sex trafficking, and that's a health issue also. And we supported him in that. And I think that he's really stepped out of his comfort zone to address this issue. And he's been an ardent supporter, and for the last 5 years has sworn in every board member that we have, and he's going to swear the new ones in after the awards time.
Oh, perfect. And then we have Alderman Carrie Alston, which is interesting is, I've actually tried to friend her on Facebook. She's in her capacity, so you need to tell her she needs to unfriend one person for me.
Yeah, I got it.
So please do that. But you know, she's been honored as the community health and economic pioneer. So tell me.
When we did our health disparity and domestic violence program in the 34th Ward at the Salvation Army Croc Center, she was of great support for us, not only financially for that event, we wouldn't have been able to put it on. And we had over 500 attendees there dealing with domestic violence. We had the Attorney General's office. We had every agency within the state of government of Illinois that was part of the panel that addressed domestic violence. And I think that's an issue that is a mental health issue. And I think she brought a lot to the table.
Okay. And then we have Dr. Bala Pandit.
She is a well-known physician for diabetic neuropathy and diabetes.
And let me ask you, with your experience, diabetes is huge within the African American community.
Very much so. Very much so. And a lot of children are being born with diabetes 1, and it's an issue that we have to deal with. The youth also dealing with diabetes, and she's really provided a lot of services to the minority community in addressing and educating us on diabetes.
Okay.
Careful.
And then we have Connie Boatman, organ donation pioneer.
She works for the Secretary of State. She's with the Illinois Organ Tissue Donation Program. And that's a very important thing, because those that do have liver disease, they look for a new liver. And it's very important that people understand that there are a lot of people who are suffering from lack of tissues, from eye to liver to kidneys to different organs. And I think that's a very important thing to be able to pass on to someone else, especially if you know that you're going to pass away, or to put in your driver's license that upon your death they're informed to pass on that organ to folks that give them a new life.
You know, I'm gonna share something with you all, which makes me almost tear up every time. Like I am a organ donor. I have it on my license. Do you know every single time, and I'm telling you, it puts chills in my body and tears to me. Like seriously, every single time I see the ambulance, the one that says organ donor, it does something to me. But it really does something to me when I see the lights flashing. I'm saying I've seen it on Lakeshore Drive many times, and I've literally prayed right there and said, please God, let them make it. It just means so much to me that somebody was so grateful and blessed and not being greedy and stingy with their life to donate their organs to somebody else. And a lot of times I see them like coming from south, going north, so maybe they only with a northwestern. It means so much to me to see it. And then there is, I'm gonna assume, someone who lives near me, and their truck that says organ donor is parked by my house every time. I feel like it was just ironic because that means so much to me. So every time I even see that truck, I literally cross my heart for that person every day, because I feel like even though they're not the one to donate the organ, just the fact that they took their job, that is a lot to me. So it's like there's a lot of sensitive sides that people don't know about me, and that means a lot. So not really knowing exactly what Connie Boatman had did at the time, I'm gonna be honest, I did my research, but not like that. It gives me a whole new even outlook of who she is and what she represents, because what I believe in. The next person we have William Remick, hepatitis advocate pioneer. Tell me about him.
He's the president of the California Hepatitis Program.
Okay.
He has his own program there. He's my mentor. He provides us the resources, information that we need necessary to do our work here in Chicago. We're also looking to expand to California. We're looking at chapter in Atlanta right now, then Los Angeles. He's going to be able to head up and steer our Los Angeles chapter.
Perfect. And then we have Dr. Frank Vaught, health pain management pioneer.
He's a chiropractor. He's new to our organization, but I've known him for about 10 years, and he's done a lot to educate individuals about pain management and how to manage pain holistically and not be dependent. One of the biggest problems we're having in America is addiction to pain pills. And I think that if we can take them off of pain pills and provide them all the alternatives, and I have to say, even cannabis is one of the things that we push for certain specific diseases and illnesses that deal with pain. And I think that Oxycontin and other drugs have really addicted a lot of individuals on that. And I think that his pain management, his naturopathic skills has provided a lot to the individuals that are dealing with this issue. And I think that he's a young man, and I like to recognize him.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is, kind of get a little lost or whatever. But no. So basically, the event is Saturday, June 11th from 6 to 11. And then the tickets, of course, can be, you can go on Eventbrite to get the tickets, but the website directly is healtheventscalendar.org. So it's healtheventscalendar.org. We're gonna also actually today put a link on the website, on our website. So we're gonna go ahead and put the link and the event on there as part of one of the events that we're gonna sponsor. Our ultimate goal is to get this video out ASAP, do a nice press release, so we can pretty much just go ahead and make sure that everybody is a part of this, and that they attended, or either if they don't attend it, either sponsor or become one of the donors.
Or place an ad.
And then I'll make sure anybody who's interested, they can always, reach me on our website, which is Ebonie Caldwell Realty Portfolio.com or ECRP Real Estate Media. So there'll be something on there in regards to the event. And of course, you can go to healthevents.org. You can always, as a worst case scenario, give me a call at 773-816-4604. Is there anything that you kind of want to add that you feel is important?
The only thing I want to add is that I really appreciate what you have done. You've come off of your nest to come back into the community, and most of your clients are on the north side of Chicago. Most of your clients and properties are within the basically white communities, and for you to kind of remember where you came from and to come back and to reach back into the community and give back. One of our biggest problems is that most of the help that we're getting are not from the minorities that are dealing with the minority issue.
Right.
And so by you stepping up, I hope that by you stepping up, other minority professionals who are driving fancy cars, nice homes, comfort, and got a job and income can reach back and help those that don't. And I think that if we don't, our situation within our own communities are eroding fast. With the hip hop, the lowering of the pants, the domestic violence, there's crime and drugs, so many issues that we have to deal with and solve, and we can only do it by ourselves. They can't do it for us. We have to do it for us. Black on black crime is worse than white on black crime. So we have to address those issues. And I think that you really put us and gave us an opportunity to do that, and we're awfully grateful.
Appreciate it. So that's all I have for now, with ECRP Real Estate Media. And I'm definitely going to make sure that everyone knows about the event that's coming up, the Health Pioneer Event Dinner Awards. It's going to be a very nice event. Most importantly, of course, you get a chance to see me and my flyway, the way I dress. But no, it's a nice after 5 affair. But it's going to be a wonderful event, and that's basically it.
And I want to thank Dr. Haynes for joining our board. She gives, she's kind of quiet, timid,
Yeah, you're very quiet.
Yeah, but she.
Don't worry, I'll get you pumped up.
Yeah.
I might have to help change that hair color or something. You'll be okay.
That'll work.
Yeah, she's bringing.
Look, get you a fly skirt like this,
I love this skirt. I
It
do.
looks like a little fairy, you know what I
I
mean?
love it.
Yeah, she brings us a lot of organizational skills as we start building our infrastructure for the organization. Her input's going to be very important in terms of building that infrastructure, and we look forward to looking into the future too.
Well, every time I end my show, I always have to kind of give everybody a hug. We could do an individual hug, we do a group hug. But how about, we can do group hug.
Okay.
So, group hug. So, guys, I'm excited, and that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.